Hi there YouTube friends, welcome back to Auntie A's Kitchen. This week, as you've seen in today's thumbnail, some British comfort food, and believe it or not, we love eating a good Indian curry. And in the first part of the video, we're going to be making my version of a crispy vegetarian samosa, and if you've never had this before, it's a pocket filled with Indian spiced potatoes and peas. Then, in the second part of the video, we're going to be making a simple, quick, tomato-based chicken tikka masala. Both of these recipes are delicious and easy to make, and I think you're going to enjoy sharing and eating these with your family and friends. There's a little bit of prep to be done, so go grab a cup of tea and let's get started. First, you want to get your meat marinating for as long as possible, and I recommend you do this the night before if you can. I'm using some chicken breast, but if you want to use chicken thighs or cut the meat off some chicken legs, both of these also work really well. Into your dish with the chicken, you're going to add 2 teaspoons of chopped garlic, 2 teaspoons of chopped ginger, season with some salt, and for the spices you want to add some chilli, cumin, garam masala and some turmeric. Finally, add some yogurt, just enough to cover the chicken, then you're going to give everything a good mix until the chicken is evenly coated. Cover this and then place in your refrigerator. A few potatoes go a long way in this recipe, so you'll only need to peel and chop up between 2 and 3 potatoes. Place them in some water, season with some salt and get this on your stovetop on a medium heat. While your potatoes are cooking, cut up 1 large onion, and for the spices, measure out some ground coriander, cumin, garam masala, chilli, turmeric, and a few chili flakes for some extra heat. To make your samosa filling, heat up a pan, add some coconut oil. You could just use regular oil, but I think the coconut oil brings a wonderful flavour. Then you're going to add all of your spices and just let them cook for a couple of minutes before then adding a teaspoon of your garlic and a teaspoon of ginger, along with all of your chopped up onions. If you want to take this recipe to another level, then instead of just using the ground up spices, add in some seeds. So for example, swap out the cumin powder for some cumin seeds or some coriander seeds crushed up, or even adding some fennel seeds also adds a wonderful flavour. Again, give everything a good mix until your ingredients are well combined, then just let it cook for a short while before removing off the heat. And this is going to give you time to strain and cut up your potatoes into little pieces. Add your cut up potatoes back into the pan as well as a splash of oil if you need it. Add your peas, then allow this to cook for a while before then taking a potato masher and just mashing up some of your potatoes. Cook all of your ingredients together for a couple of minutes, and as your potatoes begin to pick up a bit of colour, add some lemon juice and some fresh cut up coriander leaves. Stir these in and let everything cook for a little longer, and don't forget to have a taste and season if needed. Then you're going to set this aside and let it cool for about 5 to 10 minutes, which is going to give you some time to wash and clear up, ready for the next stage. Traditionally, a samosa is encased in a flour oil-based pastry and then it's fried, and you end up with a crispy crunchy outside, and these are amazing. But alternatively, another way to make a more healthy version of a samosa without frying them in oil is to use some Filo Pastry. And not only are these easy to make, but you can get a really crispy outside using the oven. We'll start with making the big samosas, and then I'm going to show you how to make the smaller, more traditional style ones. And the other great thing about samosas is you can have fun with putting different fillings inside. So as you can see in the video, you're going to take 1 sheet of Filo pastry, cut it into strips, brush one side with melted butter and then stick the other side to it. Then you're going to place 2 generous spoons of potato mix onto your Filo pastry. Fold the corner across to the edge, press and seal this down. Then try to fill the pocket with a little bit more potato mix before then folding over, and you want to repeat this procedure until you get to the end. Once you get to the end and you have a little bit left, brush it with some butter, and this is going to help to stick it down. Then place your finished samosa seam down onto your baking tray that you've covered with some baking paper. May I jump in and say hi to everyone wherever you are in the world? I hope you're having a wonderful week, and thanks for watching. And in today's video, you're going to see that I'm going to serve some of my homemade mango chutney with the samosa, as the sweet flavour of the chutney really complements the spicy flavour of the crispy samosa. And if you like eating Indian food, there's a few other recipes on the channel, as well as some other British classics, so please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Another benefit in making Filo pastry samosas is that it's a great way to use up any leftover Filo pastry you might have. You can see in the video, I'm just sticking together random pieces with butter before then cutting them into strips so that I can show you how I make my smaller samosas. For me personally, I prefer, when making an Indian meal as we're doing today, is to make only the smaller samosas. They are a bit more fiddly to make, but they go really well as a starter. I will typically only make the big samosas if I'm wanting to do something different for a lunchtime snack. And if I'm making these for a lunchtime snack, then I would make the potato filling the day before. Then is all I have to do of lunchtime is to make the samosa and then pop it into the oven. You're going to make the small samosas in exactly the same way as the larger ones. Just make sure to seal that first edge as you fold over the corner, and again pack in as much of the potato pea filling as you can. When you've made all of your samosas, spread them out onto a baking tray, and another quick tip is to cover them with a damp tea towel until you're ready to cook them, and this will prevent them from drying out. And then just before you cook them, you're going to brush them with butter and then place them into your hot oven. So with the rest of the meal prepared, now let's focus all of our attention on our main dish, our chicken tikka masala, and this comes together really quickly. For the prep, you're going to want to chop up a handful of some fresh parsley and coriander leaves, an onion or 2 smaller onions. Unfortunately, we were prepared earlier and we've already cut up the ginger and garlic that we would need. Into a hot pan, add some oil before then adding the chicken that we marinated earlier. Make sure to spread it out so that each piece is in contact with the pan, and then let it cook for about 4 minutes without touching it, as we want to get a good sear on it for colour and flavour. After about 4 minutes, flip over your chicken so that the other side can get a good colour. Then once all of your chicken has a good searing, you're going to empty it out into a dish and set this aside. Using the same pan that you cook your chicken in to build upon the flavours, add some butter and your chopped up onions, and then let them cook, stirring occasionally until they begin to soften. Next, add your remaining garlic and ginger into the pan and then let this cook for a couple of minutes. For the spices, we'll add a similar mix that we marinated the chicken with, and that's turmeric, ground coriander, garam masala, cumin and some chilli. And I'll leave a list of all the measurements and the ingredients that we're using in today's video in the description below. Mix in all of the spices well, and I always love the smell of my kitchen at this stage. Then season with some salt, and after I have a taste, I decide that I want a little bit more spice, so I add some cayenne pepper. But when you make this for yourself, just add the amount of spice that you're comfortable with. Now for this next stage, you have 2 options. The first I show you in the video is to add a bottle or a tin of some tomato sauce, and this is very easy and it's a great way to make a quick curry. The second option takes a little bit longer but equally as delicious. Just add a spoon of tomato puree into the pan, mix this up, and then you're going to add a handful of tomatoes with some water. Then allow your tomatoes to cook until they break down, and this will make an absolutely delicious sauce, and this is a great way if you've got extra tomatoes to use up. As we're near the end of the cooking, you'll see me show you the samosas that we prepared earlier. I brush them with butter, then place them into the preheated oven at 180°C. With the samosas in the oven, we can continue now with our delicious chicken tikka masala sauce by adding just a little bit of sugar, and then we're going to go ahead and add some cream. Once again, give everything a good mix, and when you're happy with the consistency of your sauce, you can go ahead and add your chicken. We've only given the chicken a quick sear so far, so we do need it to finish cooking in the sauce, and when you pour it in from your dish, make sure to include all of the chicken juices, as this is going to add extra flavour to your curry. While you finish cooking your chicken tikka masala curry, if you need to add a little bit more water, do so, and then finish by adding some fresh chopped up coriander and parsley. Then you're going to place this on the back burner on your stove to simmer gently until you're ready to serve up. After about 10 minutes, check on your samosa, turn them over, and then place them back in the oven to finish cooking until they have an even colour. So here we have a crispy samosa packed with flavour and a comforting chicken tikka masala. Let me know in the comments below your favourite go-to Indian dishes, and until the next video, God bless.